different functions with the same name. The compiler selects which function to call based on the entire function signature, not just the function name. Let's take a look at this feature. We'll open funcoverload.cpp and we'll paste that into the working project and double-click on it to open it in the editor. I'll just maximize this so we can take a look at it and scroll down so you can see the whole thing. In this program, you'll notice I have 3 functions. Each of them are called volume. They differ by their function signatures. A function signature includes the return type, the function name, and the type and number of parameters. So here we have int volume int. Here we have double volume double int. And here we have long volume long, long, long. And so those are 3 different functions in C++. In C, this does not work. In C, functions are identified only by the function name, and this would cause a name collision and it would not compile. But here it works fine. The first one calculates the volume of a cube, and it only takes 1 integer for the dimensions of the one side, and all 3 dimensions of a cube are the same by definition. The second one calculates the volume of a cylinder, and so it takes the radius and the height of the cylinder. And the third returns the volume of a cuboid, where the length, width, and height are all different numbers, and it simply multiplies them together and returns the volume of the cuboid. So they're all called volume. And you can see down here in main where they're called, this one's just called with 1 integer, this one's called with a floating point and an integer, and this one's called with 3 integers. And so the compiler knows which one, based on the number and types of parameters, it knows which one to call. So let's go ahead and run this. Compile and run, and we see cube of 2 is 8, cylinder of 2 by 2 is 25.1327, and a cuboid of 2 by 3 by 4 is 24. So there are some rules to this, like the return type cannot be the only distinguishing factor, but the constantness of the return type can be and often is. And there are rules about how types are promoted to distinguish parameters, so it's a good idea to test your overloaded functions thoroughly. And keep in mind that none of this applies to C. In C, a function is distinguished only by its name, and this example would not compile. So in C++, functions are distinguished by their function signature, so it's possible to have multiple functions with the same name that operate with different parameters and with different return types. Now let's delete our working file.